Good morning, everybody. As you can see, I've got the Tecumseh put together, and I'm going to start it up in a minute. It went together pretty well. I was impressed with how well it ran, considering the many years it had been used both by me and by the previous owner. And I used a torque wrench to torque up the cylinder head bolts and the flywheel nut. The torque specs for the cylinder head bolts were 160 to 200 pound-inches. Flywheel nut was 400 to 440 pound-inches. And that may sound a little bit funny because a lot of people think in terms of inch-pounds or foot-pounds. But torque is a force acting at right angles to a shaft. An example of that would be the crank when you crank one of your engines up. So as a force, it's expressed in pound-feet. Work, on the other hand, is moving a weight through a given distance. For example, if you lift 50 pounds 11 feet, you've done 11 times 50 or 550 foot-pounds of work. So it's not a very big technical distinction, but it is, if you're being specific, torque is in pound-inches or pound-feet, and work is in foot-pounds. Power comes into the rate of doing work. So in the example I just gave, if you lift 50 pounds 11 feet in 1 second, you've done 550 foot-pounds of work in 1 second, and that's defined as 1 horsepower. 1 horsepower is the rate of doing work at, I believe, 33,000 foot-pounds per minute. So that was probably too much information. Before I start the engine, I want to say hello to the people that always support me and my channel. Donnie Boy 73. Donnie Boy 73 recently put up his Friday question and answer weekly Friday series. Donnie Boy has been doing that for some time. This was his 96th question and answer session. And there's always lots of good information in that. Mr. Stewart 143 had his Lister D out for a run. Mr. Signer 09 had a nice update on his Petter M and the progress he's making on that. He added a very good looking radiator, and I hope he gets his magneto problem squared away. It'd be nice to see that engine running. Engine Lover 1 seems to be working on several new projects. Make Do and Mend had a nice engine display out in Central Midlands, and I need to send a bark out to Jackson and Tiger Dog, who helped Make Do and Mend. Gray Fergie 101 is working on his Ajax AH3 pump and had a nice update on that. You Are Not Me 07 sent me a nice comment regarding the curved cylinder head fins, and in fact the curved cylinder head fins do point some cooling air towards the exhaust portion of the head. Crank Up Chris had a nice workshop update a little while ago, and Glenny 135 had his 1935 Lister out for a run. That was a very interesting engine to watch run. It seems to run slow and very powerfully, and you could see the push rods operating, which is always interesting. And finally, I want to say hello to Gwen. Gwen is a member of the Outback Pickers. They do a lot of very good music, and interestingly enough, Gwen's husband was an engine restorer and collector. That was an interesting coincidence. Okay, so I'm going to start the Tecumseh up, and then I'm going to check the idle RPMs and open throttle RPMs with the inductive tachometer. And as I explained, that's an inductive tachometer. You don't have to touch it to anything. You just have to get it close to either the spark plug or the